Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. Hope you're having a great day. Today we're at Holmes Honda to try to answer the question, is the 2023 Honda CR-V EXL the most versatile crossover SUV with a starting price of $29,500 for the base model? It's a really good option in a lot of ways. It is available with a hybrid powertrain. You can go with front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. And the interior is quite roomy. The exterior is very nice looking, fully redesigned for 2023. There's a lot of cargo capacity within the interior, and it really is versatile in a lot of ways. But what exactly ways would you look for where that is concerned? Well, how does it get down the road? Does it do a good job of that? Is it fuel efficient? Does it have plenty of space for driver and passengers? Does it have plenty of space for cargo capacity for long road trips or just hauling home a lot of groceries from the store? Depends on the situation, but there's definitely a lot here to talk about. Let's get started. By the way, I'm at Holmes Honda today, so if you want to possibly buy this model or any other at Holmes Honda, check out the link down in the description of the video. And if you're wondering, is this color Sonic Gray? No, it isn't. This is Urban Gray. It has a black interior, and we have a more squared off front end. And for those of you who are maybe checking out this fully redesigned CR-V for the first time, what do we have in the way of dimensions as to how much larger this model is? The wheelbase, measuring from the center of one tire to the center of the other, increases by 1.6 inches. There is an overall increase from bumper to bumper of 2.6 inches, and the width increases, well, the least, obviously, by 0.4 inches. And taking a look from the front end without the tongue twists, we have a more squared off look, but at the same time, we're still going to have some very nice body lines as far as the contour of the hood, the fenders, everything looks very nice here. LED headlights and LED daytime running lights. If I was going to sound the gong on anything, it would be the fact that you don't have fog lights here on this trim level. This isn't exactly the lowest trim level, but not necessarily a big deal. We're going to have some gloss black here, as well as the chrome brow across the top of the grille and between the grille and the hood. And by the way, if you're wondering about that flickering effect you see there, the only way you can achieve that is by looking through the lens of a GoPro. Just a common GoPro problem. And here on the front end, to help improve gas mileage, I know it's probably a little hard to see, so I'll show you from both sides, but we do have the active air curtains here that allow air to flow through the front end that comes out right here. That is going to help in a lot of ways with MPGs. This particular model is front-wheel drive. Speaking of front-wheel drive, let's talk about tire and wheel size. 235 will be the width on the tires. Gonna have a good bit of meat on the ground, and then we're going to have the 60 series sidewall. That contributes to a good ride quality because it's not too much, and it's most certainly not low profile and too little. Wrapped around the 18-inch wheels, we'll work our way up. We're going to have the body-colored urban gray mirror caps. Turn signal indicators are indeed built into the heated, power-adjustable side view mirrors. You do have the proximity key, and here's what that key looks like, or remote, really, more than a key, but here's what you have. And yes, remote start is there. Now, if you're wondering about the tinted windows here, that is not factory tint. Holmes Honda added that to the vehicle. Actually looks very nice against the urban gray exterior color with the chrome surround on the windows, body colored shark fin antenna, and the nice looking and useful, it does have a purpose, rear roof spoiler that channels air over this rear window when driving down the road. Is going to help to keep that clean, but in the situations where it's not so clean, you have the rear window wiper to take care of that issue. CR-V logo right there. A fairly clean rear to the vehicle. Nice looking taillights that do look different from the previous generation. If you're saying to yourself, I prefer a non-hybrid powertrain, this is definitely the option for you. The 1.5 liter turbocharged four-cylinder, producing 190 horsepower, 179 pounds-feet of torque, mated to a single-speed, continuously variable transmission that is not obnoxious it really does run better than most. I have to admit to that. Try it for yourself if you're curious, because I know the CVTs can be a bit of an issue, not in this particular case. And how about those all-important MPGs? 28 city, 34 highway, 30 combined, and 3.3 gallons of gas is what Honda says you should use for every 100 miles you drive. If you're curious to know what happens when you fill up your capless fuel fill, or fill into that, I should say, into the fuel tank, how much fuel does it hold? 14 gallons. And as I open the hands-free tailgate, let's talk about towing capacity. 1,500 pounds, not a massive number, but most people are not too concerned about towing with the CR-V. What they are concerned about is what can you fit in this rear cargo area. It goes between 36.6 to 39.3 up to 76.5 cubic feet. And on the non-hybrid versions, you have a few different ways to configure everything here. You can fold the seats down. They do fold completely flat, as you can see. And that's not all that we can do, which, by the way, those do recline quite nicely, as you can see. Concerning this floor and the non-hybrid version of the CR-V, there's a couple of advantages here. Number one, when I lift the floor, you have a spare tire. But number two, here's how you can reconfigure things here in the rear. If you need a little bit of extra space, let's see if I can do this one-handed. Now you can see where the floor is right now. That's not the only place where you can put it. You can also drop the floor all the way down, as I just did, and give a little bit more space. In fact, there is a total of 3.1 cubic feet of additional cargo capacity or additional space in the rear of these new CR-Vs. And if you're curious, what is the size of a cubic foot? A basketball is the size of a cubic foot. As we look into the rear seating area, this is the jet black interior. You have the nice soft touch materials. We can use the armrest test and say, yes, that is nice and soft. The bottle holders right here, or door bins, which really is a combination of both. A good bit of space right there, and a lot of space for rear seat passengers when there's nobody sitting in the middle row seat. There is the fold down armrest, and the way this is configured, unlike most vehicles with cup holders built into the armrest, if there are two cups or bottles in these cup holders, rear seat passengers can still use that as an armrest because this area isn't taken up. I guess they could always use their elbow and just sit on there when they can, when the cup holders are in their conventional position of what most car makers have. And then we do have the rear air conditioning vents here, although no USB connectivity, but there is a solution for that. I'm always curious to know how many of you were hoping for a panoramic sunroof option for the CR-V for the 2023 and beyond model years. Well, it's not here. You do have the conventional size sunroof. I'm always curious to see what your feedback and your thoughts are on that subject. Looking in through the passenger side door, a little bit more space in the door bin, a little larger armrest, going to be just as comfortable as the rear. We do have the power adjustable seats for the driver and the passenger. Both are heated. Wish they were ventilated. And here's a quick look across the dash as far as the overall design goes. There is plentiful space within the glove box. If you're wondering what this is for wheel locks, actually. This is the wheel lock key. It helps you or allows you to actually remove the wheel locks if you ever have to change a tire. Because remember, you do have the advantage of the spare tire in this case. And quite a bit more going on here with connectivity. The 12-volt power outlet, couple of USB options, a wireless charging pad. We have our conventional shifter. Yay for no push button shifters, right? At least based on what a lot of you tell me in the comments section. And then we're also going to have our drive mode selector. We have our hill start assist. You can turn off the auto stop start feature, which I do recommend doing. And you also have your power parking brake hold mode, your cup holders for the driver and passengers, or passenger in the front seat, and a little bit of space in front of the center console. And here's the thing I like. That console sits up fairly high, maybe a little bit higher for someone of my height, the 5'10", but not too bad of a situation. Then we have the removable tray right here and the space within the center console. And by the way, what was I referring to about the solution for rear seat passengers not having any USB connectivity? You could always run an adapter from the 12-volt power outlet right here to those passengers in the rear, and then they can have USB connectivity. Obviously, there are going to be a few more options for buttons and switches here on the driver's side door panel. Your windows, you can lock the windows, and then the controls for those power adjustable heated side view mirrors. And we also have seat memory. And while the price on this particular model is not super high, I still think that seat memory should be available on driver and passenger sides. You also have the button right there to open the power rear door, the lift gate back there. And if you wanted to attempt a front wheel drive burnout, well, just turn your traction control off and go for it. Then you can drop this lever and adjust the steering wheel appropriately, tilt and telescopically. I'll let you listen and hear what it sounds like when you hop into the interior. And here is what we have as far as the dashboard goes. New digital, fully digital dashboard. Very nice, very easy to use or manage depending on what you need to do. You can hit the home button right there and it will take you right here. And all I'm going to use is the scroll wheel right here to work my way through the different options depending on what I want to see or what I want to know about. Quite a bit going on here. Here's where you're going to control the lighting on the outside of the vehicle. And some of you might wonder, what is the function of this lever? Well, you can also use it to turn on the blinkers or turn signals and let people around you know what you're doing. I know some of you don't know about that because I've driven around you. But I do notice that you always use your windshield wipers when it's raining outside, unlike your blinkers that you don't use all the time. You can control your front and rear window wipers right here. Can't say anything sarcastic about that lever. And here we have the 9-inch touchscreen. Nothing is angled back like it was with the previous generation of the CR-Vs. Tell me what you think about that. Still a very simple system to use. The technology here is very easy to use and or learn. In case it's your first time having a vehicle with this kind of technology in it. And here is everything you can go into and make adjustments to the vehicle. Depending on the situation you're in or what you want to do, you can make several different changes here. Very easy to figure out what is what. And when we go into reverse, a nice clear multi-view rear view camera. You can see that you have the 3 different views here. And if you were going to try and tow up to 1,500 pounds, you could hitch onto a trailer very easily without anybody's help. By simply using this view, you can also use that to see what's behind you and not back into anything. A lot of advantages there, that's for sure. And then we have our dual zone climate control. Now, one more thing that I wish was here. We do have the heated seats, as I mentioned earlier. I would like to see ventilated as well. But we do have dual zone climate control. You can sync the 2 sides together, as you can see right there. Or they can be set individually. And speaking of going on, we're about to go on the test drive here in just a minute. Here is the drive modes. Let's go through and see what we have in our drive modes. There is normal. We're going to go down to econ mode. We're also going to go to snow. Now you can see that those are the only driving modes. You might say, where's sport mode? You actually will go into sport mode. In this case, we go into the D right there, that's drive, or you can go to sport mode by going to the S. And in case you were curious about what the interior looks like after dark, well, we'll get here into a little darker atmosphere and show you what it looks like. There's the steering wheel mounted controls, the instrument cluster, and the infotainment screen. Now, I know there's a little bit of light in the background. We're just doing the best we can with everything, but showing you what's here as far as this goes. And how about the headlights? Well, there's what that looks like. We'll turn those off, turn them back on for you. There's what the brights look like. A very nice look, that's for sure. Just something a little different since it's so bright outside. Obviously, I can't show you that any other way. All right, we're out for the test drive. And one more thing that's a little extra that I like to do in my videos, and I know some people like to use a decibel meter to measure how much road noise you have and all of that, but you know what? The level at which is acceptable to from one person to another is going to vary, and a decibel meter cannot tell you that. Only you can figure that out for yourself. So what I'm going to do is drive on this road and just let you listen for a few seconds. I have some people who like to hear what it sounds like in both lanes, and you really couldn't tell a difference, at least not in my opinion. You can tell me what you think, but there you go. And keep in mind, it may sound really noisy in here, but the reason for that is that this road is horrible. This is not your average road, so it really gives quite an experience on how quiet it really is in here on pretty much any road surface. Most road surfaces, even though this doesn't look as bad as it is very washboarded out. It's quite noisy depending on the vehicle that you drive. And we'll be on some smoother pavement here shortly so you can hear what it's like. And by the way, I was driving 70 miles per hour in case anybody was curious. Some people ask about that, so I try to remember to give all of that information in the video. Ultimately, you have a very smooth ride here with these 23 CR-V models. The turning radius is nice and tight. It's a very maneuverable vehicle. Easy to get around, easy to get in and out of tight spots. It's a lot of fun to drive. And obviously there are multiple trim levels depending on what you would like to have. You can go with the hybrid or non-hybrid, all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive. Everything here easy to use, easy to learn. And the one thing I didn't discuss, I don't think I said it earlier, is you obviously have Apple CarPlay. I've paired my smartphone right here. I have an iPhone. But whether it's an iPhone or an Android device, it's wireless. You do not need a USB cable to connect your phone to the CR-V. So that is good. Now that's at least with this particular screen. Very nice though, I have to say. Everything is bright and clear with the graphics. A vehicle that has a lot of technology, but at the same time, it's very easy technology to use, very easy technology to learn. There's not an overload here as far as the technology goes. That's one thing I most certainly like about it. Honda does offer a lot of great technology, but it's not so much that it's overwhelming. That's always a good thing, especially for people who are maybe just getting into something like this for the first time. They don't have a choice. It's time to buy a new vehicle. And well, if you buy a new vehicle, there's really nothing out there anymore that doesn't have more technology than vehicles have had in the past for the most part. But that's the thing I love about Hondas. Easy to learn, easy to use. You have Honda sensing here, so you have all of those great safety features such as adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, collision mitigation braking, all of that. You even have a fly in here that just came up. I don't know if you saw that or not, but all of that is here and very easy to deal with. It's not overly aggressive. That's one thing I like about it. We've had some challenges with that in the past with some Honda vehicles. That's not a derogatory statement towards Honda. It just is what it is. But you don't have overly aggressive lane keeping assist or anything like that. So that's a plus. Honda always working to improve things, and they tend to make just the right improvement. It's not overkill, it's just enough. Sometimes when it's not even necessary, they do it and do a good job with it. So tell me what your thoughts are down in the comments section. Are you planning to buy a 2023 or maybe 2024 CR-V? If so, what trim level do you plan to buy? So tell me what your thoughts are. Is the 2023 Honda CR-V EXL the most versatile crossover SUV? Tell me what your answer is and tell me why you answered the way that you did. I'm always curious to know. I want to say a special thanks to my friends here at Holmes Honda for loaning me this CR-V for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for giving me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so you can watch future videos. And if you want to learn about other vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.